So I'm going to call the Village of Lansing Board of Trustees meeting at 7:30.
7:32.
7:32. Start with public comment period. Oh, now he's got some.
Yes,
Okay,
I'll just officially say that I'm here to, as the citizen observer for the community party. I will be writing a report to distribute to party members and other citizens.
Okay, thanks, Larry. Anyone else have anything to say? Nope. Hearing no more comments, I entertain a motion to close the public comment period.
I'll move.
A second.
All in favor, please raise your hand and say aye.
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 Ronnie, are you
Aye.
voting?
I guess I should clarify, am I able to vote since I did not give a multi-day notification where I would be joining? Is it still, with the executive order still in place, is that required?
Yes, the executive order is still in place until June 8th.
Okay, so I can vote tonight.
Yeah.
All right, then aye for me too. Thank
So
you,
the next-
Natalie.
Okay, so the next item on the agenda is to approve the minutes from May 2nd. Jeff was the only one that was not here, so he will need to abstain. I entertain a motion to approve May 2nd of May 22, 2nd of May 22 minutes.
I'll move. I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor,
Aye.
please raise your hand and say aye.
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 Abstention.
Mm.
Abstention.
Oh, and one abstention. Okay. Okay. Okay, next on the agenda, motion to open the public hearing for proposed law, local law C 2022, amendments to the Village of Lansing Code sewer permit fees. See.
Motion to open. I move.
I second.
I have to read.
All those in favor?
I should read. All those in, I keep forgetting that, I'm sorry. All those in favor, please raise your hand.
Aye.
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 Now just read a synopsis of what this is. It is the purpose and intent of this local law to alter and increase the village sewer system fees from the current flat fee of $1,000 for a single residence sewer permit / unit and $500 for each additional residential unit incorporated in the same residential structure back to the original flat fee of $2,350 per sewer permit / unit. Sewer permit fees are one of two income sources for the sewer fund. They are usage fees and sewer permit fees for connecting to the sewer. With the sewer expansion project, we will be spending down our reserves significantly. Therefore, we have decided to increase the sewer permit fee back to what it originally was. Is there any public comment on this? Okay, so I need a motion to close the public hearing for proposed law, local law C. I will move to close the public hearing. I need a second.
I second.
All those in favor, please raise your hand and say aye.
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 So, okay. Next on the agenda is a motion, where am I here?
Close the public hearing, then.
Close it. Now we need to move to adopt
Oh, we need to
local
move.
law C as local law 5.
So, and I can move it, right?
You can move it if you want.
I move that we adopt local law C as local law 5. Resolution to adopt, no, I don't have to do that.
Yeah, you're fine.
Resolution to adopt proposed local law C 2022 amendment to the Village of Lansing Code sewer permit fees as local law 5.
I second. Ms. Ronnie?
All those in favor, please raise your hand and say aye.
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 No, it's
Don't need to read that. So next on the agenda is the presentation, right? ma'am?
Yes.
Presentation from Tompkins County Youth Commission.
And we have Chelsea and Lorraine are on Zoom. So you two may go ahead.
Great. Thank you for having us to your meeting this evening. I was wondering if you could enable the screen share because we do have a few slides and a video at the end.
Be good.
All right, perfect. So my name is Chelsea Benson and I am with the Joint Youth Commission. I'm a Town of Ithaca representative. And Lorraine, you want to introduce yourself and take it away?
Sure. It's nice to be with you. We are the Joint Youth Commission, and we're here to update you about 2021 and 2022, what we've been doing. And as I am Lorraine Moran and Chelsea Benson is here, we are going to do, like she said, we have a short video at the end. We probably can make this happen pretty quickly in 10 or 15 minutes here. The Joint Youth Commission is just as a reminder, is a 10-member group of 4 townships. The townships are the Village of Lansing, the Village of Cuga Heights, the Town of Ithaca, and the Town of Caroline. And these 4 townships banded together to provide funding for youth employment and youth development in our townships. And the last township in was Caroline, and it looks like our band has worked. We've been at it for 6 or 7 years now as these 4 townships. As you know, these 4 townships essentially form a donut of land around the city of Ithaca. And almost all of the youth attend the Ithaca City School District, except perhaps for some homeschoolers. With about $214,000, the townships get 5 professionally run youth employment and youth development programs. And we, as a commission, select the programs and monitor them. We get technical assistance from Tompkins County Municipal Services in the form of a staff person, and that person is Bridget Nugent, who you may sometimes have interactions with since she handles contracts. The Town of Ithaca actually administrates all the contracts for the 4 townships. So here are the 5 programs, and I'm just going to run through them so you have a sense of what they are. The Learning Web, we get 2 services from the Learning Web. The first one is youth apprenticeships and career tours. In this, youth are interviewed about their interests and they're paired up with a mentor in the community who agrees to mentor them. That mentorship can go on for 6 weeks or 6 months. And most of the time there is a written agreement in place with the mentor. And that's the first service we get from the Learning Web. The second service we get from the Learning Web is a community service program. And this is for middle schoolers, usually done in the summer. And during the summer, they get a facilitated group experience where they basically go around and visit all of our nonprofits and community service agencies. And this sort of end point of the whole thing is that they will, as a group, devise their own benefit and an activity or a benefit to benefit a community organization. So they essentially get the idea of how nonprofits work and how community services work. That lasts usually for 2 segments of 4 or 5 weeks in the summer. And it's been at different locations. At times it's been at St. Catherine's of Siena Church. At other times I think this year it's going to be somewhere else. But anyway, that's the second thing the Learning Web gives us. The next one is, next up is Coddington, Camp Coddington. And that we fund there a counselor and training program. And somewhere between 9 and 11 youth from our 4 townships receive a pre-employment onboarding. They are given specific duties with campers. They're under the supervision of senior counselors, and they are paid a minimum wage for usually about a 6 to 8 week summer job. The thing about Camp Coddington that's been pretty amazing is they did not slow down at all with COVID. They were open. They serve about 150 campers up Coddington Road past IC there. And they were able to stay open, and we had a full docket of counselors both 2020 and 2021. So that was great. I will stick in a little story here. Apparently there was a Village of Lansing youth who apparently took the bus from the mall area, put his bike on the bus, and got as far as IC on the bus, took his bike off the bus and drove it up Coddington Road and had a summer counselor and training program. Halfway through the summer, a senior counselor realized he was doing this. It's pretty straight up haul there on Coddington Road, and agreed to pick him up. So half the summer, the senior counselor picked him up and drove him the rest of the way. But that was a Village of Lansing youth, according to Camp Coddington program director. Our third up here is the Ithaca Youth Bureau, Youth Employment Services. And they serve many townships around and the city of Ithaca. They're a very large program, and we do contract with them. We usually get about 33 to 40 youth who get minimum wage paid summer jobs in a variety of local settings. Some examples would be they're placed at places like Gimme Coffee, Alphabet Soup, IC3, the Tompkins County Library, Kendall, Dolce Delight, and there's a long list of others. I think they said they have 70 places that you can work. They also receive a curriculum. It's a 146-page workbook, but it's an online thing, and it's called Level Up. And during COVID, they really took a lot of time to kind of remake the Level Up curriculum. And so because, they didn't have paid jobs in 2020 at all, they used some of the money, they stipended young people to virtually do that Level Up program online. So I think that was probably a good use of their time. They redid all their platforms and all their kind of social media presence during the slowdown of COVID. One more thing I want to say about the Youth Employment Services staff, they also kind of advocate for things for youth. One of the things that almost everybody who's involved with youth knows is that transportation for 13 to 16, 17-year-olds is a big issue. Getting to a summer job is a big issue. So they spearheaded a drive and met with TCAT and the school system. And as of May 29th of this year, there will be a bus pass for youth available to them. They will obtain it through the schools, and it's going to be called Free Ride. And that will be a free bus pass for youth who ride, they'll be able to ride around the county, and that's available in the school. And I do think we have to thank them for really spearheading that advocacy. Fourth up here, we have the Cornell Cooperative Extension, Rural Youth Services. This is our youth development or youth enrichment arm of our programming. And they do go right into the middle schools, DeWitt, especially DeWitt Middle School. And they are also at community centers like Brooktondale Community Center and many sort of outdoor venues. Anyway, they just have this large variety of offerings of programs. I'll just give you some titles. The titles are photography, Go Green, geocaching, Magic the Gathering, primitive pursuits. And I'll mention one in particular that they did during COVID, and it was called Dinner at Home. And what happened was Beth Bannister, who runs that program for us at Cornell Cooperative Extension, cooked in the Boynton Family Consumer Science Room. She got ingredients and got them together and gave the list ahead of time to the youth at home. And it was kind of like a online virtual food channel thing where they cooked the meal together. And it was during COVID, so they were cooking a meal for their family. I thought that was a pretty smart move for during COVID, since the families were sort of isolated at home. And that was a once a week program for, I think it was 6 or 8 weeks. Let's see. And the last one, it's our newest program, the Youth Entrepreneurship Market. It is, this program offers a 5-session introduction to entrepreneurship. And the names of those sessions are idea generation, telling your story or branding your story, making a business plan, marketing, and selling. And the program uses local entrepreneurs as guest speakers and facilitators. And this program ends with a student moving from their own idea to an actual service or product that they then market. They use the farmers market on Thursday nights to have their marketplace. And they also go to other festivals. Sometimes they go to the Apple Fest or somewhere and they put up their wares. And we fund that. That's a new funding at $10,000. And I will say there's a story related to that one. There were 2 brothers who decided their product was going to be making short videos. And what they did was just simply attend events, get permission that they could, film what they could of the event, and edit it immediately and turn it around and send it back. And they actually now have a pretty good list of paying customers who are willing to have video productions made for them that they can post on Facebook and put up on for their own media. Apparently they don't like products. The youth are using the word side hustles. That's what they call the side hustles. So anyway, that's what we learn things about what goes on through them. Let's see here. Is there anything else I wanted to say? Yeah, this is, you can see how our funding, it's a sort of a convoluted funding stream. We get a very small amount from New York State for youth development funding. And what we get is each township's share of that comes into our coffers. And then Tompkins County Youth, the Tompkins County Youth Development, Youth Services gives some money. The townships, again, you can see here, put money in. Town of Ithaca administrates it. We are the committee that selects and monitors, and then the programs there at the bottom are the 5 funded programs. So Chelsea was nice enough to rework our slides so that it makes some sense how our funding comes together. I did want to say a couple thank yous. One is that I was looking at your website, looked at your website a few times, and I see that you put up our needs assessment, our Joint Youth Commission needs assessment. I want to thank you for that. We did get some responses, and we're trying to have the residents of your township have a voice in what they think youth need right now. And so thank you for putting that up. And I wanted to also just thank you for Simon Mall, who did a great job being a liaison for us. And I know he's moved on, but he was very attentive and very helpful, encouraging to us. I will hand it over to Chelsea now, who can finish this up for us.
Great. Thanks, Lorraine, for that. I'm just going to give you a little more of an overview of the numbers from participation in our 2021 programs. We had almost 6,000 hours worked in for youth in their first time jobs, which if you think about your first time jobs as a kid, maybe in high school or perhaps college, but most of these are all high school kids, and it's really a memorable experience for them to be able to do this throughout the summer. And you can see the breakdown of the students in each program. Obviously, Learning Web and the Rural Youth Services, YEM, and YES make up a bulk of our programs, with the Coddington Road filling in a little gap there just because it's such a smaller program that only runs during the summer. And then it's a breakdown with each municipality, Tompkins, the town of Ithaca and Caroline making up a bulk. And obviously we're really looking to push out into Lansing more. I know Simon was working hard to share our programs, because that is an area where we feel like we need to get out into the community more and recruit for the programs. And we've been pushing that we're funding to really recruit heavily in the village of Lansing, because we feel like this is an area that has a lot of growth potential for the Joint Youth Commission. So if you all have any ideas of how to share these wonderful programs throughout the village of Lansing, Lorraine and I would be all ears to that. See at the bottom, there is a little bit of other. So if programs have capacity and they're not filled up, other youth from different maybe Newfield or City of Ithaca, they might participate in our programs as well, because we would never want to limit programs to youth just on where they live. So if we have capacity, then we have room for them in our programs. And here's our list of liaisons and board members. Simon's still on there, so we're hoping to recruit, hoping that we'll get another Village of Lansing liaison on our committee soon. But you can kind of see the breakdown of our town and village representatives, and then our liaisons as well. And there's a nice photo of our youth entrepreneurship market at the Thursday farmers market, kind of selling some of their wares to the public. And it's a really great program that they're running, very creative students. And the last thing I have is a 2-minute video, just so you can kind of meet the people who run these programs and the youth that participate them in their own voices. I believe I shared the sound, but if I didn't, somebody just throw in the chat or speak up and let me know.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Dean, and I am the Youth and Community Programs Manager at the Coddington Road Community Center. Our counselor and training program provides area youth, including those from the town of Caroline, with a positive first-time employment experience. Through workshops and guest speakers, participants receive training on resume development, successful interview tips, professionalism in the workplace, child supervision, workplace communication, and much more. Participants spend the summer engaging in these trainings, as well as shadowing seasoned counselors. Many of our CITs later return to Coddington as a counselor or a substitute in our year-round program. Thank you.
Hey, can you hold up some of those pieces of ice you're finding? Wow. That is awesome.
Wait a minute.
It's like,
that I want to get before you take a picture.
oh, that's awesome. Cool.
Funds from the Joint Youth Commission support Youth Employment Service, which is a program of the Ithaca Youth Bureau. Our mission is to empower teens to grow into flourishing adults, and we provide teens with subsidized work experiences for first-time workers, as well as work readiness, skill building, and training.
Hi, Hi, my name is Megan Dushko, and I am the JYC coordinator at the Learning Web. We provide career exploration services for teens, including, but not limited to, virtual and in-person job tours, apprenticeships, and volunteer community service programs.
That last video from the youth entrepreneurship market was filmed by youth who was really interested in videography. So they put that little piece together. So if you have any questions for Lorraine and I, we're happy to take them.
I don't have a question. I just want to say that, you know, as a longtime user of your services, I think that they're a very important part of our community. I see the way they provide opportunities for kids. They provide safe spaces for kids who maybe need some socialization that they wouldn't otherwise get. And, you know, now that my kids are older, the job opportunities that them and their friends have done through your programs has been really outstanding. So I really am appreciative of all of these programs and that you run them, and that the village participates not just as members that like my children, but also just providing our community with, you know, a place for youth to really grow and develop and take socially beneficial paths forward. And by the way, we did the food thing with Beth, and she not only gave you the grocery list, she literally brought the food to my house, like left it on my porch during COVID, like at the beginning when everyone was like crazed.
Yeah, that was such a great opportunity that they took to like really connect with youth in a powerful way during kind of a scary time. So great. I'm glad to hear that you've had such positive experiences with the program. It means a lot to us. I know Lorraine and I always get, you know, good vibes when we see what all the programs are up to and the experiences the youth have. So thank you for your time tonight. And if you guys have suggestions about where to place, you know, these programs around the village of Lansing, we would love to hear about that and share them with you.
That was one thing I was thinking about. You know, we have this community room here. It's not as big as the Brooktondale space at all. But if you're trying to outreach, Brooktondale is a hall. I mean, we've done the programs there because it's just worth it to me for a variety of reasons. Amongst them, my kids are familiar with them and like to play Magic, or they did when they were younger. But if you had some things right here, then maybe you would get more people from here. Because those Brooktondale is pretty far. Some stuff you've done at the town, like some of the summer camps are at the town park. You know, and when those are happening, maybe then that's the time to come out to the village of Lansing and say, you know, it's kind of in your neck of the woods. But the community room, it's just a room, but maybe something there.
Suggestion, and be happy to share that.
Yeah. Is the community room right attached to your to the town hall here?
No, it's the old office conference room.
Okay. And about, would that hold 15 young people? And
yes.
Okay, great. We will take that back because we've been looking for a space up in that area.
Okay, well, I would like to thank you on behalf of the Board of Trustees for the presentation of Chelsea and Lorraine. And if there's no other questions, any other trustee want to ask anything? We appreciate you coming. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we're moving to proposed local law D. Consider setting a public hearing on proposed local law D. Natalie, I'm going to ask you if you could explain a little on that a little about the law?
Yes, so proposed local law D enacts what will be New York State Public Officers Law 103-A. It was passed as part of the New York State budget, and it permits municipalities to have video conferencing for their public body meetings. So this would include the Board of Trustees, the Planning Board, and the ZBA. It does set forth some requirements for that use. So a quorum of the public body does need to be present in a place where the public can gather, one or more locations, but for example, the Village Hall. A board member should really only be using video conferencing for a select few reasons, which will be done as a procedure voted upon by the Board of Trustees. I circulated more or less the examples that were included in the statute, but the board does have the ability to expand those or limit those. It also has a number of requirements as to when the minutes need to be posted and how long the videos need to be maintained. But the majority of it is that you need a quorum in person, and that members may participate if they fit the criteria, and video members may also vote so long as there is a quorum in person where the public can gather.
So there's no requirement then that if you're doing it for one of these 4 reasons or any reasons that we decide to enumerate, that then you also have to invite the public to that location? This law doesn't
No.
say that.
No, you do not need to invite the public to wherever you are video conferencing from.
Seems reasonable.
Any other questions from any trustee? If not hearing any questions, I would like to put a motion to set a public hearing for proposed local law D 2022 amendment to Village of Lansing Code Video Conference Law.
So that would be June 6th at 7:35.
I'll second.
At what time?
7:35.
7:35. Caroline. Thanks, Caroline. Okay. All those in favor, please raise your hand and say aye.
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 Okay, moving along here. Got- Yeah, the next item on the agenda is consider the water bids for the bid. Well, I'll just read what I have here. The bid opening for the Warren Road and Brown Road water project was last Tuesday. We had 3 bidders, with RB Robertson Contracting coming in with the low bid of $864,437.50. Jody emailed us TG Miller's recommendation, and John Courtney sent us an email today also recommending that we move forward with the water line project by awarding the bid to RB Robinson Contracting. And I think everyone, all of the trustees should have a packet on this, or information on this in your packets. So we will need a resolution to award the contract for the 2022 water system improvement project for Warren and Brown Road, RB Robertson Contracting LLC, in the amount of $864,437.50. I will move to award the contract, but I will need a second.
I'll second.
All those in favor, please raise your hand and say aye.
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 Aye. Okay. So let's see. So the next would be the sewer bids. The bid opening for the sanitary sewer benefit area expansion project was last Wednesday. We had 2 bidders with, now I may not pronounce this right, Vakri.
Yes.
Does that sound good?
Exactly.
Construction as low bidder for a total of $4,457,000. The other bid we received was from FP Kane, which was over 600,000 more. Dave Herrick shared his thoughts in an email which was forwarded to the trustees. and he is comfortable with the Vakiri bid. However, John Courtney sent us an email today asking to postpone awarding the sewer expansion project until our next meeting, which is June 6th. The trustee meeting. He would like to further vet out the contractor's rock quantity concern and substituting sanitary sewer force main pumps. John, if John is here, I don't know if he's on.
Yeah, I'm here.
Would you like to add anything to this?
No, Dave and I just had some concerns we'd like to look into a little bit farther. We would like to get a presentation from the alternate pumping system. And they had concerns that they figured, I think, 1,000 cubic yards of rock excavation. And change order, if it exceeded that, Dave pretty much said we can put it in the contract, because this bid was it was bid as a lump sum, meaning that there shouldn't be any change orders on the items as described in the plan set.
Thank you, John. Is there any questions for John while he's on from anyone? So we don't need to do anything on that then, right?
So we'll just postpone it.
So it's just so it's, there will be no vote tonight. It's postponed until June 6th at our next trustee meeting. Okay, next is to approve the tax warrant. The next item on the agenda is to approve the warrant to collect taxes. Every year, the trustees pass a resolution that authorized the treasurer, Jody, to collect the taxes.
You should all have a copy in your packet.
Does everybody have one? So we need a resolution for that, right?
Yes. Do you want me to read it? So basically what it is, it's, you are telling me that I'm authorized to commit to receive and collect from the several names in the assessment roll hereunto annex the several sums named in the last column thereof opposite their respective names, altogether a total of $849,296.97. So basically the breakdown is from general taxes, it's $816,121. We have added the delinquent water rents, which is $18,914.97, and the delinquent sewer rents, which is $9,636.53. So there were 35 people that had water bills that were delinquent more than 2 quarters. So they get re-levied on their taxes. And then there was also the V-Lansing 520, which is the move tax, which is from the previous year. So say I buy a property that has a sewer exemption on it, but I'm not a senior exemption and I'm not a senior, then the next year I have to pay the difference that they got for that credit. So that's what a move tax is. So that comes from previous year, and that is $624.47. So it says you are hereby commanded to receive as much thereof as may voluntarily be paid to you from June 1st to and including July 1st of this year without additional charges, and after expiration of the time mentioned to proceed forthwith to collect the residual of the sums not so paid in as, this is really legal, isn't it? With 5% charge for the first month and an additional 1% charge for each month and fracture thereafter. And you are to file the tax roll and warrant in your office on or before the 15th day of November 2022, at which time the taxes will be returned to the county tax roll. So you just need to pass a resolution to accept that.
So could I get someone to move that?
I so move.
I will second.
Thanks. All those in favor, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
So move. So we're down to general discussion. Anybody want to talk about anything, ask questions? Nope. Anyone online? Zoom? Hearing no questions? Are we actually ready to adjourn? Oh, my God.
I'll move to adjourn.
There you go.
I'll second it.
They're adjourning at 8:10.
I have to say something, the
Should
meeting,
we vote to adjourn?
All those in favor?
hold on. Do I forget it again? All those in favor, please raise their hand and say aye.
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 There we go.